You're listening to Get Optimized, the only podcast dedicated to bringing you infinite amounts of clients using forgotten tactics from the grizzled veterans of marketing. Nate Kennedy is the owner of Optimized Assets, the #1 hired agency for businesses that want to leverage digital marketing to scale client acquisition campaigns without scaling effort. Here's your host, Nate Kennedy.
Hey, what's going on? Nate Kennedy here, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm excited for you guys. I got some cool stuff in store. We're talking about how to really beat the good old boys today, right? So you know the Good Old Boy Network. It's all those guys that have been in the space for a while, and they're kind of buddies, and they're hanging around, and they all support one another, and they kind of, sometimes those guys will go back and just make it harder for someone else to get into the crowd. I feel like you got to be in the know. You got to be in the know to get into the in crowd type stuff. So what I'm going to talk about is how to really not ever have to deal with that and how to run your own business and scale it and grow it. This is kind of that missing piece that I think a lot of guys have. So a lot of businesses have. So I got to tell you, man, it's super nice morning here real quick. I'm usually up early. It's been since 4:30 a.m. that I've been up. So I think I got to tell you, man, people always ask me, Nate, why do you get up so early? And for me, it was always because I knew if I got up early, there was time in the morning that no one would ever try to steal it. No one would ever try and steal that early time from me. So now apparently that's turned into my time to record these podcasts. I'm actually a high energy guy in the morning. I'm usually up early. I'm wide awake and ready to start the day. So perfect time to get these Get Optimized podcasts rolling for you and get you guys some good info. Now, last episode, if you remember, and if you haven't gone back and listened to it yet, go make sure you do. The last episode was about funnel hacking. We talked about funnel hacking versus modeling, the difference between the two, and how you don't want to be kind of one of those funnel bandits and going and stealing stuff from people. You want to be able to take what you think works and model it for your business. At the end of the day, people can funnel hack you, but they can't hack your results. So write that down. People can funnel hack you, so don't get offended when someone does it, because they do that out there in the industry, unfortunately, but they can't hack the results that you get. And that's what's going to separate you. And then we talked about building your marketing machine as well. Now, the way I want to get into today is the fastest way to beat the Good Old Boys Club. So the fastest way to beat them and not have to deal with them. And I kind of learned this the hard way, because back about 11 years ago, I had my first big product launch. I don't know if you've heard of any product launches, but when you kind of create this new product and you decide you're bringing it to market, you used to do this big launch and all the affiliates in the industry would promote you. So when I did this, unfortunately, I didn't get a whole lot of love from the Good Old Boy crowd in the affiliate industry to promote me. And it was frustrating because I had these big aspirations. I'm doing $1 million, and we didn't do that. And so I'm going to talk about how launch gone bad real quick. Two things is we did this launch and we didn't do anything crazy. We made like $150,000 in over like 7-day period. And what happened is we went ahead and paid our affiliate commissions. And then my old, no longer current bookkeeper decided the next month he paid the people the exact same amount. So basically, if you know anything about affiliate commissions, like if someone promotes your products, you usually pay them a percentage. Well, we were paying half. So what happened is we sold $150,000 in profit. We paid half out on payment one, and then we paid the second half out the next month. So he paid 100% of our profits out the door. So that was a learning experience and a loss, but we didn't really have a whole lot of big affiliates in there. That's why we didn't do too much. But either way, with that said, one thing that I did that was kind of unique is, I'll say that for another time, but I had this really cool pillow mailer that I did. And if you're interested in it, I'll tell you what, email me, drop me a note or comment about the pillow mailer. Maybe I'll tell the story here at another point. So with that, I want to jump into how you're able to do this, how you're able to, at that point, I realized I needed a different way to grow my business. And it wasn't going to be relying on other people. I don't want to be relying on hoping the big guys would promote me since I was new to the space. I didn't want to rely on people to promote my business, grow my business. I knew that wasn't sustainable. It wasn't a growth route. There's no way of doing that. So this is what I learned. Paid traffic is king. A lot of people say cash is king. And frankly, that's what paid traffic is. If you have a good offer, you got a good marketing machine in place, like we talked about in previous episodes, you take care of those two things in your house. You take care of that and you put those in place. When you turn on paid traffic, I mean, it's just opening up a faucet of revenue for your business. And the reason it does that is because you have an offer, you have a marketing machine, and you can sit here and say, you know exactly how much money you can spend and how much money you're going to make. So here's what I want to cover today. I want to talk about why paid traffic is king, and I'm going to talk about why it doesn't come first in your business is another thing I want to cover. And then I want to go into some ways to make more money with the leads you get. People fail to realize that when you spend money on paid traffic, there's massive value on the backside of those leads. So I want to talk a little bit about some things that we do that I think will help your business. So with paid traffic, there's all kinds of networks. It can be super confusing because you got Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you got all these content networks, Rev. So there's all kinds of different platforms for you to buy traffic at. You got native, you got Yahoo, you got native advertising, you got Yahoo, Gemini, you got Bing. So there's all this stuff going on. So with that said, what I prefer to do is go with the two 800-pound gorillas at the end of the day. When I know my offer and I know my audience, it's very easy for me to go onto Facebook and create conversions and buy traffic and get my message in front of the right people. And the same thing goes for Google. They're the 200-pound gorillas right now, really in the space in regards to that people use and out there with traffic resources available. So I'm a big fan of starting with one network. And once you master that network and your offers really, really dialed into that network, it's time to expand to the next. Because traffic on Google is going to respond different than traffic on Facebook. The way that you communicate on Facebook is going to be different the way than you communicate on Google when you're buying ads. So with that said, what's important to understand too is that with paid traffic being king and going out to Facebook or going out to Google, picking one of those networks and mastering it, there's also this little tidbit I want to cover with you that's kind of important.
The fastest way to scale your business is to get optimized. That's why Nate has pulled together his best resources to help you speed up the process. Go to www.natekennedy.com/free to access them now. What are you waiting for? Go to www.natekennedy.com/free right now and get optimized.
In today's marketing environment, it's not as fast as post ad, see ad, buy product. I mean, it does happen a lot, but it's more so after people have seen you a couple times. They may see your ads a couple times. They may see your post. And if you're on both networks, they may see you over on Google if they saw you on Facebook first. There's this thing called marketing attribution. So it takes a handful of touches, and there's debates on how many it takes, but sometimes it takes a handful of touches where somebody may come and see your post in a group, or they may see your ad on Facebook. They may go search your name on Google, and then they may see a retargeting ad on Facebook, click and buy. So what you're happening is your first touch is Facebook, your second touch is Google, your final touch is Facebook. That's what's called marketing attribution. Like what's happening in that ecosystem before that person becomes a client. And I think I won't get too deep, but we'll get into the tracking front of all that later in another episode. But there's something for you to keep in mind when you're trying to think of when someone's in your ecosystem and someone's in your digital ecosystem, where are they? And what areas are they searching on? What networks are they on? And that's where you ultimately want to grow your presence. But start with one. So hope that makes sense there. Now, one thing I want you to understand is paid traffic does not come first. Paid traffic does not come first. You need to make sure that you do your offer. This isn't like the chicken and the egg type syndrome, trying to figure that out. What this is if you don't have an offer that people want, it's completely irrelevant how much traffic you buy. So everyone always gets all enamored with, I want more traffic. And they ask somebody, hey, do you want more traffic? Or why do you want more traffic? Well, because if I get more traffic, I make more money. Well, how about you make more with the traffic you got? Or is your offer even converting? People think they have a traffic problem, but they don't. They have an offer problem. And because of that, it doesn't allow them, when you're thinking I have a traffic problem, as opposed to I'm having an offer problem, you go and focus on the wrong thing. So you really got to get your house in order. You got to get your offer right. And then you want to put your marketing machine around it and then start building that out more and more as you put more traffic into it. And you'll be able to convert and make more money. So with that said, it doesn't come first. Make sure your offer's right. Make sure your marketing machine is going and flowing. And then from there, let's talk about a few ways to make more money with the leads that you get. So what happens, I find, is a lot of people bring leads in. And when they bring leads in, they end up not doing anything else with them. It's like they get that initial opt-in, they send a couple emails to follow up with them, and then that's it. That's all they do. And they don't do anything else with it. So There's other things that you can do. So for example, if you're with us and you're running a training class marketing system, which is part of our infinite acquisition. So when you're doing that, when they get done with that, what we like to do is we have what's called an objection handling campaign that we put after that. So we then put them through a few more emails with a couple other videos, kind of breaking down in short form video of what just happened in that training class and covering some of the big topics and big pain points that we know the perfect client has. So then from there, after that actually increases our conversions exponentially. From the next thing, what we do after that, the people who don't respond in that avenue, we move them into a Rainmaker campaign. And then we do an email-based campaign to drive the same action we tried getting from the training class. Now, all of these are done via still the exact same mindset that we talk about on the training class with providing value. So even though we're asking for an action, we're still giving value and not just hard selling to get them into something. And we're providing value so they want to keep tuning in and paying attention to us and the value that we're putting into their life. So that's super important. So those are two campaigns that you can put together in your marketing machine, the follow-up system. So that's after leads ops in. Those are more days inside your follow-up to convert more leads from the ones that you get. Where I see, unfortunately, a lot of people don't even email the leads after they register or opt in and stuff like that. And it's bananas. It's crazy that they would do something like that. So let's do a little recap here. How to beat the good old boy club is go build your own thing. Don't worry. Do not look at other people's traffic as helping you build your business. Look, to me, the way that I look at that, if someone sends me traffic to my offer, that's a bonus to me. That's just free money in my mind. I don't expect it. I don't project my business off of it. I project into the growth of my business based on paid traffic because I know if I put $1 in, I can get, it doesn't matter if it's $1.50, $2, $3, $4, $5. We'll talk about how to increase. If you're spending $1 and making $1, we'll talk about ways that you can spend $1 and make $2, and we'll talk about ways that you can spend $1 and make $5. So we'll talk in later episodes on how to maximize and how to get optimized so you're doing the right thing there. But paid traffic is king. And the way to do that is to get paid traffic because you can control your numbers and you can control your metrics. You can control your message. Remember that paid traffic doesn't come first. Okay. You need to make sure to have your offer and your marketing machine in place. Then from there, you want to figure out ways to make more money with the leads that you got. And that's building relationships. So there's this great thing for you to view is this. All right. So people will come into your business via direct response. They will stay because of your brand. People will come into your business because of direct response. You'll leverage direct response methods to get the leads and the clients in the door, but they're going to stay because they like your brand. They like the value that you give. So that's it in today's Get Optimized podcast. I hope that provides massive value to you. With that said, next time we're going to talk about 2 birds, 1 stone. 2 birds, 1 stone. So we're going to go over what that is and how to get your traffic and your optimization talking effectively and talking at the same time and communicating at the same time so you can make fast decisions and make more money quicker. From there, I've got a boatload of resources for you over at natekennedy.com/free. Yes, a boatload. So go to natekennedy.com/free. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you got value out of this podcast or you got a big tip from this podcast, make sure you leave a comment, send me a note, let me know, and we'll take it from there. Have a good one.
This is the podcastfactory.com.